The Joe Rogan Experience.
But yeah, I definitely like being in there, being active. I train all year round. Like I don't really take big breaks unless I like hurt something. So in most of my fights, I come out injury free. If I do have injuries from like a fight camp, not from the actual fight.
That's really fortunate.
Yeah, no, I'm lucky. So I want, not gonna lie, I want to, I want to take advantage of my health because I know it's not gonna last forever.
How old are you now? You know what
Oh yeah, 20
26?
Yeah, that's the magic number. No, I'm 34 this year. Yeah.
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
When did you start training?
I did my first Muay Thai class when I turned 24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I called
Well,
it
maybe
my.
that's a thing, right? Like you don't have the wear and tear of like a lot of people start when they're 10, and by the time they get to 24, they already got
they're all jacked
MCL
up.
fucked up and back's a mess and
And it
necks
probably
hurt.
stunts your growth too a little bit. I don't know. I feel like something happens.
If you cut weight, it certainly does.
Yeah. So I didn't really do any sports after I guess middle school, and from middle school through high school to college, and then after college, I didn't do shit.
You didn't do anything?
Nah, I was skinny fat, so I didn't have to.
But you didn't work out or nothing?
Nah, I didn't work out.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. If you see a picture of me from like right after college, I look like this little skinny like stick figure, like just soft girl. It's really weird. So like when people see me now, they're like, "Holy shit!" Like
people from back then.
Yeah.
Well, they must be freaking out now. Like she's a what?
Yeah,
she's in the fucking what? She's a UFC contender.
I know.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, it's
Angela?
really funny. Yeah, exactly. Like nobody, and I was so different. Well, not different, but I was like super quiet, like all my life, like in high school, especially college. Like I was always just like really shy and really like soft spoken.
That's surprising because you're very funny on Twitter.
Oh, thank you.
On Twitter, you're hilarious.
Well, I was always funny.
You're always funny, just quiet.
Nobody knew it. Yeah, I kept it to myself. I cracked myself up all day. But yeah, like I'm just super shy. Like always awkward around like new people and new settings. And like I had my tight knit group of friends, but like I was never like the popular kid by any means. So
what brought you into Muay Thai class?
A workout.
You just needed something
I was
to do.
just fat. Yeah, I had just gotten married, and I also had an office job. I was working at an animation studio, and before that, I had been bartending. So I was like moving around and doing stuff, and I never really felt like inactive. But once I quit the bar job and was just doing that full time, I just felt like fat and lazy and greasy and, everything that happens from like sitting down all day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you do all sorts of shit outside of this just to like, stay happy.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, it was really cool discovering it. Like I was just asking around because I always wanted to learn how to fight. But like boxing intimidated me. I'm like, they're not going to want to deal with me, like they deal with me if I came in when I was like 10, but not now. Some old ass fucking girl wanted to learn how to box. But then people are telling me like, oh, Muay Thai is like really cool, and I was afraid of getting bulky, and they're like, oh no, if you do Muay Thai, like you'll still look really natural. You won't look like you're on steroids. And I was like, oh, okay.
Every girl's afraid of that. You're afraid of big shoulders and big arms.
I mean, now I don't care. I'm like, bring it on, But back then I was like really worried about looking like a ninja turtle.
That's so funny because it's so hard for a girl to look like that without steroids. But you see some girls who go hard, like the CrossFit
like
girls.
Half my opponents. Yeah. They're just all trapped up.
There's a few. There's a few that you definitely know something happened in the past.
Something happened. They grew up on a farm.
That's
the
a lot of throwing
line.
hay around. So you're 24 years old. You walk into a Muay Thai class. When do you get addicted to it?
First class, man.
Really?
First class. My coach, my first coach, Brandon Levi, does Evolution Muay Thai in New York.
So that's where you were in New York at the time?
Yeah, in New York. Yeah, that's where I went to school and everything. And first class, I threw like an elbow and a knee on the Thai pads. And I was like, oh, because it feels so hard.
Yeah.
And like, I never knew that I could generate that much power with my like little body. Because I was probably like 150 115 pounds, like wet, soaking wet, you know, at the time. So I was just like, oh my God, like I feel so powerful. And like ever since then, I was just going every day. I was going with my husband. Like we were like getting in shape, learning how to kick and stuff. And it was just like a lot of stuff I never thought I'd be able to do. I was doing it. Like even just throwing a head kick. Like I didn't like try out for cheerleading because I was inflexible. You know, I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this. I can't do a high kick. I can't do a split or anything like that. So being able to get my leg up high enough to kick someone in the head, like it was like a huge milestone for me athletically.
I love a story like that where you didn't do shit from like middle school, high school. You didn't do shit till you're 24. And then all of a sudden you get addicted to it.
Yeah. It
That's
was
crazy.
Always in me, man.
And then 10 years later, you're a top contender in the UFC.
Yeah.
That's bananas.
It's weird, but like it makes sense to me because like anytime I tried to do a sport when I was a kid, I would just lose interest. And I think it was because they were all team sports. Like I was on a basketball team, softball, baseball, whatever. I ran track for like a few months and all of that stuff. I was just like, this is stupid. Like, what's the point? You know, or that, or I don't know. I didn't like working with people. But the one thing I was good at was stealing the ball in basketball. So like, I never made any shots. Like, I was really bad at like dribbling and everything. But if someone got the ball and they were next to me, I'd run over and I'd grab it and just like wriggle until they're just like, like they would just get mad at me and let go of the ball. So I'd steal it and then pass it to the girl that could shoot. So yeah, that was the one thing I was good at.
That's conflict.
Yeah.
Maybe that was like a sign of things to come. You're good at conflict.
Exactly. I like that. And especially because I was so shy outside of that, then it was just kind of like my outlet.
So how long was it between your first class and your first fight?
It was about 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So
right away, you're like balls deep into this thing.
Yeah.
For lack of better expression.
What else? I'm like, what else deep could I?
Yeah. What can a girl do?
I was balls
Ovaries deep.
Yeah. I was really into it, and I hadn't considered fighting yet, but my coach was like, I think it was around the time. Have you ever heard of the WKAs? Mm-hmm. So it was around the time of that, and he was taking a couple people down, and he was like, hey, you want to do WKAs? You want to have a fight? And I was like, oh, are you sure? Like, you sure I'm ready? And it was kind of halfway because, well, I don't know if this is why he asked, but once I said yes, there was a girl that used to train with us who was also doing it in my weight class, and he was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. So yeah, I thought it was cool that he had that confidence in me because all the other girls who were in the tournament had been training a lot longer than me, for years even. So yeah, I was just like, okay, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Like, I was scared, but I also wasn't like putting all my eggs in that basket. Like, I didn't think anything was going to come from doing Muay Thai. It was just fun at the time.
Right.
So I went and I beat 2 girls, won the regional championship or whatever.
Wow.
And from then on, I was just fighting. They had this show in New York called Friday Night Fights. And I got a few shows on that, or a few fights on that. I went 14-0 as an amateur Muay Thai fighter. Then before I went pro, I was trying to get an MMA fight just so I had like 1 or 2 amateur MMA fights under my belt. So if I do decide to do it, I'd have that experience, but no one would fight me. So I ended up going pro anyway, had 2 pro Muay Thai fights, and then I had my first pro MMA fight 2 days before the tough tryouts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so recent. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What year were you on Tough? Was that 6 years
20, ago? So I think it was 2014, yeah.
Wow.
That's when the tryouts were, and I think it aired. Yeah, I think our finale was like that December.
Well, that makes sense now as to why you've gotten so much better over the last few fights. You're still fucking learning.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. I shouldn't have been in there.